So fear is false evidence appearing real. And when people think about fear, I like to tell people to think about that it's false evidence appearing real. It's not actually there. So it's usually, people are saying, oh, if I'm jumping, I could fall off and I could hurt myself. And a lot of parents are in that situation. Parents that ride are in that situation. If I fall off, I can't look after my kids at home. I can't care for my elderly parent. There's always that, what if I fall off? What is the impact of me injuring myself? And that's where a lot of people end up. So in a lot of cases, what's after happening is the person has been progressed too quickly through the paces and too quickly through the disciplines. So they're jumping at a height that may not be in line with their current balance. They may not have a lot of understanding of how to jump that height effectively, or if it's on the flat, potentially they've gone up the next dressage scale before they're actually ready to be there. And it's very important to find the fundamentals in all of this, which is the simple things like, do you have good foot balance? Are you able to keep your stirrup on a regular basis? Are you sitting up tall? Are you able to manage your horse through the different paces and through the current height? And then it's ready to move on to the next stage. So some simple strategies that I start everybody off with, because a lot of people, they're either a nervous candidate or they're a defensive candidate, and there's a big difference between the two when we're talking about riders. So the nervous candidate is kind of shaking and they're worried for the next step and they're really over anxious to take that leap, right? Where the defensive person is saying, I don't know why I'm here. I'm really great. And I've been jumping this for ages and I've been doing this for ages, and you're the one taking me a step back, and that's the defensive. So you have to first identify which sort of a candidate have you got, okay? And depending on that, depends on where it's coming from. The nervous person, you have to take a completely different way in action to them, where the defensive person, you also have to take a different road completely as well. So with the defensive candidates, what I usually do is I try and find the source of the pressure. Why are they feeling the need to kind of, be defensive in the first place, both in person and also in their riding? And how that person will appear is that they're overcorrecting the horse. They're kind of punishing the horse a little bit, not being happy with their round, just generally being a little bit negative. Where the nervous person often is feeding the negativity from the defensive person, and then often it features into their riding. Oh, well, I hear that, such and such told me that I'm not able to do the next thing, that I'll only ever ride a cob, I'll only ever do novice, cross country, and that often feeds into the riding then, or they've been told that they're not good enough on a regular basis. So usually with the defensive person, as I mentioned before, I find out the source of that and I try and work that out. Where are they finding this pressure to be where they're at, and try and work with them to get that down to a level. So usually taking them a step back and getting them to achieve something and making sure they understand where we're going with this process. With the nervous person, I actually use this technique called the stillness technique. And I use it very effectively, where I get them to close their eyes and I get them to take some deep breaths. So maybe we'll do some here. So I'd like everybody that's watching this video to first of all close their eyes. I'd like you to walk yourself home. There's nobody on the street. Absolutely not a sinner on the street. You've walked into your house, you've turned your key. You've then gone into your house and there's nobody there. The house is completely still. You're going to take a big deep breath now when you're ready. In for 5, out for 5. You're then going to walk into your favorite room. You're going to find an item in that room without human intervention wouldn't move. Could be your kitchen and it might be like a toaster or a kettle. Or your bedroom, it could be the television or the rug or your duvet. Without a human, it is not going to move. So just think about that item for a moment. Now I want you to imagine you are as still as that item. Once you've chosen it as well, you are going to become as still as that without human intervention. You're going to make your body as still as possible. You're going to take another deep breath in. And just let your mind be still. All the anxieties that you're feeling, let them be still. They don't exist anymore because you're as still as that item. You now open your eyes and you take another deep breath out. You allow your shoulders to relax, and every time you feel anxious and worried, you're going to literally think about that item. Well done, everybody.